Hey there, everybody. Don Evans here from WatchReport.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Marc and Sons diver. I'll have the model number down below because I got all the specs in my head right now and I can't remember the model number. But you are looking at a 46 millimeter case, 17.7 millimeters thick, 55 millimeter lug to lug, 22 millimeter lug width, about 256 grams on the on an unsized bracelet, sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel, the vintage radium loom, if you will, and it has a Seiko NH35 automatic movement. You're looking at a price in US of about $453. So obviously, by the given specs here, you are looking at a gigantic watch. Let me give you a look here around the watch here. Now, this second crown is an actual, it's a helium release valve. It's a manual helium release valve. Let me wipe this off here real fast if I can. Got a flip block style clasp on the bracelet. No diver's extension and your stamped style clasp here. I believe this watch, a version of this watch, was reviewed here on Watch Report. I want to say probably like almost 2 years ago now. And it was reviewed by Ariel Soltora. It was a different version. This is an updated model. I believe the old one had a Miyota 8200 series movement. This one has an NH35. Now, originally, here's kind of what happened here. And just for people, companies send us these watches for review, of course. And usually, obviously, there's some kind of email correspondence or phone correspondence or whatever of, which model they're going to send, et cetera, et cetera. This one, there was a knock at the door from DHL one day, and this watch arrived, and I had no idea it was coming. And apparently, what Marc and Sons did was send out different new models to different reviewers that they had reviewed for them in the past, and that was it. Now I found this out afterwards. I don't know if they just forgot to contact me or if they did the same thing with all the other reviewers. But nonetheless, they sent the watch out for review here. And so it was a surprise. Now, being totally honest, of their new models that they have out, for myself personally, I wouldn't have picked this one to review, only because it's just a very large, chunky diver, and I don't wear large, chunky dive watches anymore. I was very pleased with the Pilot watch that I reviewed probably last year at some point. Sorry about that. I'll try and edit that as much as possible, but my camera cut off because my alarm went off there, but apologies for that. I'll try and splice that together if I can. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with the Pilot watch that I had reviewed. But I'm just not into massive, chunky watches like this. Not that there's anything wrong with them, and there's definitely a market out there for them. I'm in that 41, 42 millimeter range these days for the most part. And beyond the 46 millimeter case size and the 55 millimeter lug to lug, the 17.7 millimeters in thickness is what really stands out to me. It sits very tall on the wrist. Of course, I will show you a wrist shot. I mean, overall here, you don't have anything extraordinary, and that there's nothing wrong with that. It's a nice, big, chunky diver. You can compare it to a Deep Blue, if you will, or other, big chunky divers in the micro brand world. You do have a ceramic bezel. It is loomed as well. You know, a screw down crown, of course. You know, two things right off the bat that I notice. The second hand to me is just a touch short. And also on a watch this large, this heavy, this tall, this big, you know, usually it would have a 24 millimeter lug width, and it would give it a little more symmetry as opposed to a 22 millimeter. I think it's just a little odd to have a 22 millimeter lug on a very large watch like this. I do love the bezel grip. So I'm going to grab this here and I'm going to throw it under my lamp here for a second. You can look at my hands if you want while I'm doing this. All right, I do have another light on here in the studio. But you could get a pretty good idea here of the Loom. So as you can see, it's fantastic Loom. It's ridiculously bright. And while I just charged it for a couple of seconds there under the lamp, you know, of course, all Loom fades, you know, unless you're using tritium tubes. I have noticed this to be fairly good at retaining a brightness over a good 4 to 5 hours. Beyond that, it's going to fade out very, very, very significantly. Turn the lights back on here. Let me show you a shot on my 7.5-inch wrist. There you go. I mean, as you can see, I put this on, and I mean, you could just see here. Let me try and raise the camera up just a touch. I mean, you could see here. It is a massive watch on my wrist, and I don't have small hands. I got medium to large size hands. You know, 7.5-inch wrist ain't super small or anything. Personally, I think this is, you know, an 8-inch watch or bigger, or if you maybe just have really big, you know, forearms to kind of balance it out. That's just my personal opinion. Obviously, hey, if you have a 6.5-inch wrist and you want to rock this, that's up to you. And it's funny, I don't like big chunky watches anymore, but yet I still, you know, wear big ass chunky rings. So everything's preference, everything's subjective. Please don't do the comment, oh, you don't like big chunky watches, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, but I stated that, but I also stated it's subjective. So everybody calm down. If you want to see more and you want to see my full review and thoughts and comments and detailed review on the Marc & Sons diver, click the link at the upper right hand part of the screen. We'll take you over to watchreport.com. Leave a like or a comment here on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are not. You will never miss another review. Follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This has been Don Evans for watchreport.com, giving you a look at the Marc & Sons diver. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you very much.